The purpose of this presentation is to introduce you to several aspects of the great goddess theory, as well as a feminist approach to myth interpretation. I will be using the Callisto myth as told by Ovid as a basis for this presentation, so you should be thoroughly familiar with that reading, and also with the written lecture material on the great goddess before continuing. The poet and mythographer Robert Graves claims that the high esteem in which women were held in the ancient world was due to the mystery of birth. It used to be thought that impregnation occurred when a woman bathed in a river or was subject to specific winds. The male role in procreation was unknown. Indeed, he claims that even to this day certain peasant communities in Spain turn their mares to the wind as a fertility rite. Thus, the decline of the status of woman began when men finally discovered that they too had a role in procreation. Whether or not this is true, it makes a good story. The great goddess manifested herself in three ways: the maid, the mother, and the crone. These manifestations were likened to the three phases of the moon: waxing, full, and waning, and also to the seasons, since the ancient Greeks only recognized 3 seasons instead of our modern 4. The demise of the Grecian great goddess was heralded by the rise of sky god cults in the Middle East, of which the Hebrew god Yahweh was one. These cults spread to Greece, where the male god was known as Zeus, and one by one, over a period of hundreds of years, the cults of the great goddess fell to the Zeus cults. Since history is written, or remembered, by the winners, the original oral myths of the female culture were reinterpreted by the new patriarchal society in terms of the now predominant male. In what follows, I want to use the Callisto myth as an example of how this might have happened. First, I will summarize the myth and then discuss what the myth may have originally been designed to show, and how this was reinterpreted by the patriarchy when they made the myth their own. As you know, in Ovid's telling, Zeus, or Jupiter, looks down and lusts after Callisto, who is a temple virgin to the goddess Artemis. Ovid calls her Diana, which is her Roman name. Diana is known as a virgin goddess, daughter of Leto, sister of Apollo, who looks after women in childbirth. Diana represents the maiden form of the great goddess. Zeus then disguises himself as Diana and approaches Callisto when she is alone. Callisto is at ease with Diana, but Zeus then reveals himself. He then proceeds to have his way with Callisto, impregnating her and then vanishing, hoping to avoid his wife Hera's wrath. Callisto tries to keep Diana from discovering her pregnancy, but eventually one of the other virgins sees her stomach bulging and she is found out. Diana is furious and bans her from her presence. She doesn't seem to care that Callisto was blameless in the whole ordeal. Alone, Callisto wanders the woods, giving birth to a boy child she names Arcas. But Hera is watching, planning her revenge. This revenge takes the form of turning Callisto into a bear. Ovid describes the metamorphosis and how, over the years, Callisto watches from a distance as her son grows to manhood. Then, inevitably, one day the son is out hunting and encounters his mother. But there's no way for him to know who she is, and so he raises his bow to kill her. And here Zeus finally does something good. Rather than see son kill mother, he turns them both into constellations, making them immortal. Becoming a constellation was a great honor for the ancients. The story doesn't end there. Hera is angry that Callisto and son have been given immortality, and so she complains to Tethys and Oceanos, who finally grant her a bit of revenge. They put the two high in the sky so they will never be able to rest beneath the horizon, and so we see them to this day in the night sky. Here are several different classical renditions of the Callisto myth.